At some point, most of us in security get the call. Not the one from the CISO, but from our parents. My mom got a call from a very calm, very polite man named Kevin. Kevin was from Microsoft, and Kevin could see in real time that her computer had been hacked. And if she didn't act immediately, she was going to lose everything. Her photos, her bank account, her email. Spoiler, Kevin wasn't from Microsoft. If you work in security, you spent years thinking about how these attacks work. The people closest to you probably haven't spent 5 minutes on it. And scammers know this. They specifically target older adults because they tend to be trusting, because they grew up in a world where an official sounding institution usually was official. So this video isn't Scam Prevention 101. It's for you, the security pro who wants to actually protect the people you care about, without it turning into a lecture or scaring them into never touching a computer again. Now let's talk phishing and the actual attack vector, urgency. Phishing, vishing, smishing, none of it works by compromising a system. It works by compromising a human, a decision. And the way it does that is through urgency. You already know this, but chances are your parents probably don't. We've seen this email before. Your account is suspended. There's suspicious activity. You have 15 minutes before we close your account permanently. That kind of pressure bypasses critical thinking, the same way it would for anyone under stress. And these attackers are good. They're patient, they're calm. They've run this exact script hundreds of times on hundreds of people. So what do? We slow down. The rule I give people: if a message makes you feel like you need to act right now, that feeling is the signal to stop. Don't click the link. Don't call the number in the message. Don't download anything. And please do not scan that QR code. Instead, go directly to the source. Type in your bank's URL. Call the number on the back of your card. Attackers are counting on the panic. So take the panic off the table, and the attack usually falls apart. Next, we have to touch on password hygiene. Listen, your parents don't need to understand what credential stuffing is. They just need a password manager. Data breaches are a constant reality. When a service is compromised, your credentials don't just vanish. They end up in a massive searchable database, and attackers use automated scripts to test those same username and password combinations against every other account you own. Your email, your bank, your shopping profiles. If you're reusing passwords, you aren't just vulnerable in one place. You're vulnerable everywhere. The solution? A password manager. If you want something cost-effective and reliable, Proton Pass is an excellent choice. If you prefer a more polished interface, 1Password is a top-tier option. Even the built-in managers on iOS and Android are more than capable for most users. The goal is simple: one strong master password and unique, complex credentials for every other service. That's it. Now, if you're helping someone else get this set up, do that heavy lifting for them. The initial migration is the biggest hurdle. Once the vault is populated, the friction disappears and they'll actually stick with it. Trust me, they'll thank you for it. MFA. Do I really need to say more? All right, well, I'll cite an actual number here. Microsoft's research found that multi-factor authentication blocks over 99% of automated account compromise attacks. That number has held up since 2019, and nothing has changed the math. Your parents don't need to understand why it works. They just need to turn it on. First, start with email, because email is the recovery mechanism for everything else. Then do banking and social media. Most platforms walk you through it in under 5-ish minutes. It's usually under account settings, security or privacy, and then two-step verification. If people push back on this, tell them. Your email account is the gateway to every password reset you will ever do. If someone gains access to your email, they can reset the passwords for everything else you own. That usually lands. The gift card. The scams that hit older adults hardest are usually tech support fraud, government impersonation, romance scams, and the grandparent scam. They almost all converge on the same payment method: gift cards or wire transfers. The IRS does not accept iTunes gift cards. Microsoft does not ask you to buy Google Play cards to resolve a security processing fee. No legitimate company, no legitimate government agency, no legitimate anything will ever ask you to pay in gift cards. If you can establish one rule with your parents, make it this: call me before you do anything a stranger online or on the phone tells you to do. Before you buy anything, send anything, download anything, or give anyone remote access to your device. And tell them explicitly they are not bothering you. That call is exactly what you want. One last thing I want to touch on is privacy settings. Most social media platforms default to public, which means anyone can see who they are, what they post, and sometimes where they are. Take 10 minutes and lock those accounts down. Instagram, Facebook, whatever they're using. It's a small thing that removes a lot of surface area for anyone trying to build a profile on someone before making contact. The people running these attacks are counting on the fact that you've never had this conversation with your family. They're counting on confusion, on embarrassment, on nobody explaining what to look for before it's too late. Now you have the framework. Share this with someone who needs it. Or, better yet, sit down with them and walk through it together.